Hi everyone, it's Carol here from the stampingground.co.uk, and today we're going to make this lovely card using, well, what I thought was Daisy Lane. Unfortunately, I actually got a hold of a retired Daisy stamp and I hadn't realised. However, it's the same size as the Daisy Lane, and it actually uses the same punch. So I'm going to refer to this throughout as Daisy Lane. I'm just going to quickly show you in the catalogue when I get the page. This is Daisy Lane, and the punch is the large daisy will be cut out with the punch, and the fern leaf can be used where I've stamped the kind of tiny leaf, and it'll look just as nice. So we shall start. So the cardstock that we'll need is a piece 8x4 scored at 4-inch, 2 pieces 7 3/4 by 3 3/4, and 2 pieces 7.5 by 3.5. Now all the measurements including metric will be over on my blog at thestampingground.co.uk. So I'm going to use rich raspberry for the outline of the daisy. So just ink your large daisy up, and we want to stamp two of the large ones out. Now the only difference here is there's a few more markings on this daisy than there is on Daisy Lane, but that doesn't matter because we're actually going to colour this in. Now I just want to stamp just on one of the daisies, the centre, and I want to stamp it in the same colour. Now we just need to take our punch, and we're going to punch both of the daisies out. So just line it up, make sure it's nice and even, and then just punch it out, and do the same with the other one. So to colour them, I'm going to use the Stampin' Blends, and I'm going to use 3 colours. Well, not 3 colours, I'm going to use the light and dark rich raspberry and the light fresh freesia. So I'm just going to go in with the lighter one with the fresh freesia first. And there we are. And then I'm going to go in with the lightest of the rich raspberry. And I'm not quite going to the top of the petal. It's going from the centre, and I would say about 3/4 the way up. And now we need to go in with the dark, and I'm going to say about 1/4 of the petal, just down at the bottom with the dark raspberry. And we need to do that on both petals. And then just on the centre, I'm just going to go in with the dark, and then we need to pop those together, and I'm going to just use a couple of glue dots to do this. And just offset your petals. Oops. And just press down. And I'm just pulling each of the petals and just curving it slightly, just to give it a little bit of movement. Now for the leaves, I'm using that one there from the Christmas season stamp set that's in the new mini catalogue. And the two holly are the only ones that you wouldn't use or couldn't use all year round. So I think it's a brilliant set. So we need a scrap white cardstock, and I'm going to use the soft succulent ink. And then we're going to stamp out, how many do we need? We need 5 of these. So I'm just going to do that for now, and I've got some already done. So the next dye I'm using is from the Poinsettia Petals. I use this an awful lot. It's a great dye to have in your foliage. I cut it out in all sorts of colours. Here we want 2 of the soft succulent, 2 of the evening evergreen, and we need 2 white as well. When I can pick them up. And I'm going to use the little mini cut and emboss machine. It's great for having at hand. It's only small. It's great for on your worktop. It's great for if you're going crafting somewhere else. So I'm just going to pop the dye on, and I'm going to add a little bit of washi tape to hold it down. Now if it makes the camera shudder, I do apologise. So just whiz it through. And this machine, it can take most of well, it takes lots of dyes, because in a packet of dyes you get an awful lot of small ones. So it takes all those, and there are specific embossing folders in the catalogue that correspond with this machine. So now I'm going to take the soft succulent and the evening evergreen and just run this dye through my machine. Whoops. There we are. So now we need to cut them out in all the colours. Oops. And then we're going to bring our card front in. And what I like to do is put the flower where I'd like it to be on the card. And then I actually start laying my foliage out. So we'll just bring all that back in. So start adding your foliage and work down to where you would like your design to end. And on a flower spray like this, it would be slim at the top, and it would just go slightly wider at the bottom. And we're going to add some stamping here, so we need to know where to add the stamp foliage. This is why I'm just roughly putting this together, and you'll understand a little bit more once I get going. So just tuck everything in and just keep adding till you've either used all your foliage or you're happy with the look that you've actually got. And if you need more foliage, then just if you feel you do, then just cut a few more leaves or this berry type foliage out and add to it. Right, so I'm just going to put a pencil dot where I want the end of the foliage. So I think I'm happy there, maybe one there. So then take all your foliage and flower off and just pop it to one side. And all we've got left are the pencil dots on the paper. So we now need to get a stamp, and at this point you would get the fern from Daisy Lane. So I'm going to use again soft succulent for the leaves. I think it's a very soft and subtle colour is this. So I'm going to find my point where the pencil is, and the top of the leaf is going to roughly be over the pencil mark. And obviously the fern in the Daisy Lane is a lot bigger than this, but you would only put the tip, you would stamp the whole leaf, but the tip would be the one that is showing. Everything else is going to be under the other foliage, so it doesn't matter about the back end of the fern. And then this is a two-step stamp, so it actually colours it in for you as well. So that's all our foliage done. Now in the Daisy Lane, there's just a tiny series of dots. Now I'm going to use the rich raspberry, and I don't want it as dark as that, so I'm going to stamp it off first. And then I'm just going to add these dots randomly around the card front. So I'm going to come back in with the flower and just sit it back onto the card front, and again just pop in your foliage. And now we're kind of at the point where we need to get it right this time. It's not just adding it so that we can just mark where our other foliage is going. So I need it longer down here, so and just take your time. It is worth just taking that little bit extra time and getting the look that you want. See, I still need it a little bit longer. That looks better. So now I'm happy with that little bit. I'm going to take them off and bring in my glue dots. And I'm going to start with the flower first. I'll just add an extra one. And then you're going to do the same with the leaves. So just You only need one of the glue dots on the bottom and just tuck in where you want it, and when you're happy just give it a little press down. So as you can see, it's slimmer at the top and a little bit wider at the bottom. And before you put your glue dot on, just pop it back on and just make sure you're happy with and you know where it's actually going. There. So I'm just going to pop these in the side, and don't be frightened to snip them with the scissors just to make them smaller. And whatever you've got left, don't throw away. You never ever know when a small piece of anything comes in handy. So add your glue dot and pop it in the side. And then we need to do the same on the other side. I shouldn't have said that because we don't have to have everything uniform. So pop it where you're happy with it and it looks pleasing to the eye. Now we're going to bring our other foliage in. I don't know what kind of foliage it is. I just call them little berries. I know they're not berries, but and again I'm going to possibly, oh no, I'm going to say I'll possibly snip this, but I'm going to snip this one. There, I want that tucked right in there. And then start adding your glue dots to these. And then all we've left after that is to put the white ones in. So we're just going to add the dots to our white ones and finish the foliage off in a minute. And don't forget, everything that I've used in the making of this card I will list over on my blog so you can see, and again all the measurements as well. So I'm just going to add a few pearls, and I'm going to colour them first with the dark razzleberry, just to match the card. And they dry very, very quickly, these, so you don't need to worry about waiting for them to dry. So I'm going to do 5. So I'm going to just pop them randomly around the card when I can pick them up. Oops. There we are. So we now need to add the card front to our layer. So I'm just going to use liquid glue for this. And then I'm going to stamp the inscription, and I'm going to use a black cardstock. It is, let me have a look, a quarter yeah, 1/4 of an inch wide, and just take a length for now. And then the inscription I'm using is, it says, "For your kindness." And we're going to take the Versamark ink, and we're also going to use a white embossing powder. So ink up your stamp, and then just press firmly onto your paper, and then take a piece of computer paper and just sprinkle over the embossing powder and shake any excess off. Now I'm going to use the heat gun, which is very noisy, so I'm going to turn off the sound so you don't have to listen to it. I'll just pop this back in before it gets all over. And then just snip it. Mine's approximately 3 inch. And then I'm just going to make a little banner at this end. So just snip up the middle, and then from either corner just cut in to where you've snipped. And then I'm going to pop some dimensionals on, and then just pop it near the bottom of your card, and make sure you get it straight. No. So we now need to add all this to our card front. So I'm just going to whisk through this because I'm just going to use the liquid glue. And now we need to just decorate the inside of our card. So I'm just going to I've stamped the daisy. I've stamped it off first because I want the second stamp in, which makes it a nice light colour. And then just line it up and do a second one. Now I'm just going to use the fresh freesia to colour, and I'm not colouring all of the actual petal. I want it to look more like a bit like a watercolour. So just go around adding little bits of ink in the actual petals. And this gives it quite a delicate look, which is nice for the inside of the card. So there. So for the inscription inside, I put "Your thoughtfulness brightened my day," which it reads on the front, "For your kindness, your thoughtfulness brightened my day," which I think is a lovely inscription. And again, I'm going to stamp it off first because I only want quite a pale colour. And then again, layer these two up and attach to the inside of the card. And line it up carefully before you press it down. You don't want to do anything wrong at this stage. And there we are. I really hope this has given you some inspiration maybe to have a go yourself, and I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. It does help my channel. And if you've any questions, please do message me. I will always answer any comments that I get. So until the next time, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.